Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Mochen Le'Ra Online Smicha. You know, when you talk about the Arba Minim that we use for Sukkot, it's interesting to note what it says in Chassidish Svarim, that despite the fact that from the 4 Minim, the one that there is a clear instruction in the Torah what it should be like, Punkt the one that's the clearest instruction, that instruction we're not necessarily makbid. When it comes to the Esrig, we don't know exactly which fruit it is until we say Hadar Be'iloni Mishana Lashana, a fruit that grows in all seasons, and what Hadar means. The Lulav is Kapes Tamarim, and Adasim. It all has to be learned to figure out what they are. The one instruction that the Torah gives clearly is Aravis. The Torah says Arve Nachal, the one that are by the waters. Yet Shulchan Aruch allows that it doesn't have to be necessarily Arvei Nachal. Any Aravis is good enough. Any willow is good enough, and maybe it's symbolic to the Chasidisha or the what the Aravis symbolized. The simpleton, Ein by Torah, Ein by Ma'asim Tovim, even though it's not even near Nachal, but whatever it is, Punkt this one, despite the fact that the Torah has a clear instruction, we're not makbid in instruction. So therefore, we actually find that aravis people grow aravis in their homes. Like this person over here has his aravis at the end of every season. He plants the aravis to have it for next year. Many people grow aravis just to make sure they have it for the following season, and it's not arvei nachal. So I did see a tshuva, fascinating tshuva, in Yabia Omer from Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, where he was asked, I'm sure that this was a common thing, that shuls would plant aravis, so to have, I don't know if it was an income or just to have as a item for the members to have, the members of the shul to have aravis, so they planted aravis. So there's a beautiful tshuva, I think it's in Chelik Ches, Yabia Omer, Siman Tez Zayin, where Rabbi Ovadia Yosef is going through the halacha, if you're allowed to plant a aravis tree or aravis bush near a shul, and it begins based on the Rambam. The Rambam in Perek Vav from Hilchas Avodah Zarah, right? Hanoteya Elon Eitzal Mizbeach, one who plants a tree near the Mizbeach or anywhere in the Azara, even if he did it to make it look beautiful and to make the Beis Hamikdash look nicer. But because the Torah prohibits it, Hareza Loika, you get Malchus. Shanamar, because the Torah specifically says, Leisita Lacha Asherah Kol Eitz Eitzo Mizbach Hashem Aleikecha. You're not allowed to plant any tree near the Mizbeach. And the reason, says the Rambam, is because the Goyim used to do that. They used to plant trees near Lahavdil, their altars, the Avodah Zarah altars. And they did that so people should be shade, so people should hang out there, people should collect there, and that will attract people. So we're not allowed to do what the Goyim did. So there's an instrument of Torah to plant trees, Eitzel Mizbach Hashem Aleikecha. So if this is by the Mizbeach, by the Beis Hamikdash, we have to figure out, does it apply today to every shul? So before we go to the shul, Let's go to the origin. In the Beis Hamikdash, where was the Isser? Because the Torah says, or as the Rambam says it, Eitzel HaMizbeach oy b'chol ha'azara. You're not allowed to plant a tree in the Mizbeach, near the Mizbeach, or by the Azara. But the Chesef Mishnah says, he quotes from the Sifri in Parsha Shoftim, where over there it says, you're not allowed to plant possibly even in the Harabayis, not only near the Mizbeach. Now the Rambam obviously doesn't pass in that way, so the Mefarshim say, because the Rambam holds like Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, who holds that it's only Asur Ba'azara, because Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, we know, Mishnasei Kavanaki, his teachings are pure, and his teaching is the halacha. So therefore, according to the Rambam, the Isser is only in the Azara, only near the Mizbeach, not in the Harabayas. So how would it apply in a shul? If even in the Beis Hamikdash, the Isser is only by the Mizbeach, only in the Azara, doing it in the courtyard of the shul, we know that the courtyard of the shul is definitely not even as holy as the Kedushas Harabayis. How do we know it's not as holy as the Kedushas Harabayis? Because concerning the Harabayis, the Mishnah says you're not allowed to walk in with your shoes. You're not allowed to have mud or dust on your shoes, and you're not allowed to spit. And however, in the Beis HaKnesses, these items are allowed. You're allowed to walk in with your shoes because the Beis HaKnesses, as Chazal tell us, has to be a Beis HaKnesses like your home. Ma Beis, just like your own home. You're not makbid to walk in with your shoes. You're allowed to walk in with your shoes in the Beis HaKnesses. So if you're allowed to walk into the shoes of the Beis HaKnesses, it's not in the same category as holiness as the Harabayis. And now that the Rambam says that the planting of trees is only a problem in the Azara or near the Mizbeach, whereas in the Harabayis you're allowed to, so doing it in the Beis HaKnesses, we're obviously not even doing it in the Beis HaKnesses. Doing it in the Chatzar Beis HaKnesses, for sure you're allowed to. Now, however, even though there is a svara to be machmir, because the svara says the reason why, as mentioned, the Rambam says why you shouldn't plant trees by a mizbeach, because that's why the Goyim did it. And why did the Goyim do it that way? Because that was a way the people travel would find a resting place for shade. So we don't want a hangout near the base of Mikdash, and we don't want to hang out near a shul also. You're not even allowed to talk dvarim b'teilim during a speech, during learning. But nevertheless, the halacha comes out from the Rambam that it's not an issue, because the issur of planting trees in the Beis Hamikdash is only in the Azara or near the Mizbeach, but in the Harabayis you're allowed to. So in the courtyard of the shul, you're for sure allowed to.